Bullseye Millifiore, a natural glass creations production, in association with Open Source Glass, an international movement. When working with glass, it's a good idea to get started by wiping down your glass with a towel which has been sprayed with Windex. This makes sure your glass will be clean of any dust or other contaminants. I begin this project with a solid yellow core, which I wrap with an 8mm clear rod. As you can notice, this clear rod is many sections of 8mm that I had lying around on my bench, all welded together. I prefer to apply clear to the core with a wrapping or coiling technique. I will wrap the core starting at the top and wind clear all the way to the bottom. This will give a nice, even, thick section of clear, which will give a nice separation of my colors, thus creating the bullseye pattern. It's a good idea to give a slight tug to your cane in order to keep it the correct length and thickness. Next, I will wrap the cane again, this time using a rod of orange crayon by Glass Alchemy Color Company. When wrapping any cane, you must concentrate your heat on the rod of color or clear that you are applying. You must focus your flame so that it keeps your last coil hot, basically smearing the hot rod into the previous wrap so that no air bubbles will get trapped. Also, it is a good idea to go slow while doing this technique so that you distribute the glass evenly. Notice how my left hand holds the cane vertical and perpendicular to the flame, not in the flame. This will help to keep your cane from drooping or sagging too much. It's a good idea to get everything hot and give your cane a little pull so that you can keep a nice even thickness and length. Now I will apply another coat of clear. Again, I prefer to use the 8mm clear in order to give a nice thick section of clear, which will help to separate the colors, thus creating a nice bullseye pattern. Next, I'll coat the entire cane with yellow. This is canary yellow, manufactured by Tag Glass, which is a Troutman color company. I like using the wrapping or coiling technique because it basically gives you a lot of color, which is important because you'll be pulling this cane out really long. Next, I will be coating the entire cane in clear again. This will accomplish two things. First, it will protect the colors from getting burned or bubbly. Also, adding a last coat of clear will help keep everything smooth, thus distributing the heat evenly when I begin to pull the cane. Basically, it makes everything a little easier for the pulling of a cane. Once you finish that, get everything really hot, and make sure it's the correct length that you want. It is important to heat up the end of your cane to a simmer point before you attach your punty. This will help pull your cane more evenly. Once you attach your punty, this is what it should look like. Notice that it comes to basically a point. Next, I'll lop off my original punty and remove any clear that is left behind. I prefer to use diamond shears to lop off the end. Next, it's time to just pop it off. Next, get the other end hot and marver it so that it comes to a semi point, just like the other ends for you to punty up to. This will give you matching thicknesses at your punties, and again, this will aid in a more evenly cooled cane. Next, I'll try to get the opposite end just as hot, and then I will begin heating up the entire section, making sure to give it an even heat base throughout. Once it gets nice and hot, to where it's droopy or wet hot, it's time to begin your pull. Take it slowly at first and pull it to the desired thickness or diameter in the center. Once you get it to the desired diameter at the center, let it cool for a second before you begin pulling again. This way, it will pull from the ends and not from the center. Pull it for as long as you can, and I always hold it vertical so that it cools nice and straight. Now it's time to lop it into sections that will fit inside the kiln. If you pull the cane evenly, you'll end up with several sections for your finished product. Then I always place it in the kiln so that it can cool evenly and anneal. Basically, it'll make your cane stronger. Here's the pictures of the finished product and a couple pictures of the amount that I ended up with from this cane pull.